How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Virtual History 360. I'm Mr. Wade, and this is your yesterday's history for our Age of Jefferson unit level 3. Now, for this level, we were focusing on the conflicts. So let's get started. The war with Tripoli, the Barbary Wars. You see, the Barbary pirates who controlled the Mediterranean, the North African coast, always demanded a tribute of anyone sailing through so they wouldn't attack. Well, if you didn't pay, you would be attacked. Well, when the United States was told to pay, Jefferson refused. In response, those same pirates captured or seized the USS Philadelphia. But it gets crazy. You see, the captain, Stephen Decatur, he burned the ship to keep the pirates from using this wonderful vessel. Now, we go to war, the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, right? Well, this is the shores of Tripoli that we're talking about, right? Well, here's the deal. The Barbary pirates capture some of us, and we ended up fighting to a stalemate. We agreed to pay for prisoner exchange, but in exchange for that, the pirates agreed to stop demanding tribute. So it was a win-win if you think about it. So that was one of the conflicts. The other being the War of 1812. Now you have to understand this goes back to Jefferson's Embargo Act of 1807. And just our relationship on the foreign affairs, and ending trade with England, right? Embargo, ending trade. Well, then we start fighting. Now, here's the thing. Most of the fighting was against Native Americans, not so much the British. The British did manage to burn the Capitol and the White House, but Fort McHenry survived. But there's a lot going on, okay? Now, one big takeaway is the Federalists up in New England called a convention called the Hartford Convention, where they were so opposed to this war that they were willing to secede from the country. But the timing was bad because we had a few wins, and unfortunately, they were viewed as unpatriotic or not nationalistic, and they lost their political power after the War of 1812. Basically, the Federalists were done on the national level after this, okay? But one more takeaway, the ending of the war. The Treaty of Ghent was signed in December, but the last major battle, the Battle of New Orleans, Andrew Jackson's claim to fame, was in January of 1815, okay? So there's a lot to take away from this, but really the big losers, winners, you could argue America won, you could argue Britain won, but the losers were the Native Americans because Britain agreed to pool their support from the natives, which just opened the door for Americans to push the natives off their land. Okay, so that covers our level 3. I know it was a lot that I squeezed in really quickly, but here's your bell work question for today. Of the two wars, the Barbary Coast Wars, War of 1812, I think it's safe to say that the War of 1812 had a bigger impact. So I'm going to focus on which do you think was more important? Do you think that the fighting with the natives had a bigger impact on our country today? Or do you think the British burning our capital had a bigger impact on our country today? That's what I want you to tell me in your bell work question. Which, the result of fighting with the natives or the British burning our capital city? Which had a bigger impact on our country today? Answer your bell work, be awesome, and for Virtual History 360, I'm Mr. Wade. I'll see you next time.